couple things we want to talk about in this video. Tips and thoughts on general inspections for the technician, and then things that will really, I'm going to use the term destroy technician productivity. So the thing we want to start off with is just quick tips and thoughts on performing general inspections. And I guess not a quick tip or thought, but a thought is general inspections are the lifeblood of our business. If we're not performing general inspections and we're not doing them properly, we're not doing them thoroughly, we're not doing them consistently, we won't have cars to fix. If we think we're just going to skate by whatever that car shows up for, or that's the only work we're going to do to it, and then we're going to send it out the door, we won't be in business very long. Cars aren't broken like they used to be. And beyond that, general inspections are good for everybody involved. They're good for the customer, they're good for the shop, they're good for the service writer, they're good for the technician. So customers like general inspections. They like to know what's going on with their car. They want to stay ahead of the curve. Selling maintenance and helping customers understand their cars and know that they should take care of them before they have major problems, they really appreciate that. And one of the ways we do that is with general inspections. So they're just key to our business, our longevity, our sustainability. You really need to, if you don't have a good outlook on them, you really need to adjust that outlook. So some quick thoughts on performing better general inspections. Make the notes as you go. Don't try and look at the whole car and then remember what you looked at. Take your clipboard, take the general inspection, and write it out as you go. So that's one thing that's really important, because you tend to forget things, you tend to miss things if you don't do that. So follow the order of the sheet, follow the order of the general inspection. It's laid out in a manner that allows you to be efficient. Make sure that you're actually looking at the areas and following them in the right order, and it will make sense, and that will help with the overall speed of the general inspection. And one of the things we really know is we need to get that general inspection back to the service writer in a timely fashion. So don't do in-depth brake analysis, in-depth front-end analysis without discussing it with the service writer first. We don't want to spend 30 minutes inspecting a brake system for us to talk to the customer and then say, no, I have absolutely no interest in doing brakes. I do my own brakes. So if you see a situation where brakes are needed, you do your quick look, you do the general, you follow the general inspection sheet, you make a recommendation that they actually need a brake inspection, and the service writer can then sell that brake inspection. If the customer's not interested, we haven't invested 30 minutes that was a waste of time. So don't go beyond the basic scope of the general inspection unless we have confirmation that we should do that. Like I said earlier, keep in mind that general inspections are appreciated by the customer. And keep in mind that if you want consistent workflow, you want consistent hours, one of the best ways to do it is perform general inspections and really buy into their importance. So that's kind of what I want to say about general inspections. And I could go on and on about general inspections, but really learn to love them, buy into them. They're your best friend. They're the thing that are going to continue to get you work and continue to make our shop sustainable. So what we want to move on to is things that really will kill productivity. I'm going to try and just kind of go through them pretty quickly, but poor communication with other staff members. If we get bad information from the service writer, guess what? We're not going to be able to diagnose a car properly. So, not applying our speed of service concepts. Are we willing to walk away from cars? Are we willing to push cars outside? Do we move with a sense of urgency? Are we doing these things? Are we doing timely general inspections? So, and in the same regard, not getting general inspections back to the service writer within the stated time frames that we need them back. So, if technicians, and they tie together, but this is, like I said, things that will kill productivity. Things that let me go back to productivity real quick. If a technician is in the building 50 hours a week, we really want to get them 50 hours of work, and we really want them to be able to bill out 50 hours of work, and that's kind of what we're talking about, productivity. So these are things that will, prohibit the technicians from being productive. So, but if they're not doing the general inspections consistently, if you're not utilizing a consistent logical diagnostic approach, one of the things we talk about is VRIRC. And I don't remember exactly. Verify. Anyhow, we need to make sure we're using a logical approach to diagnostics, and to diagnosing things and to inspecting things. So, one of the things that will kill productivity is the customer doesn't trust us, because we've had inconsistent repair experience, or we've had incorrect repairs, comebacks. That's the thing that will kill productivity. When we have to pull a car in for free that the customer's already paid to get fixed, and we got to relook at it, that will destroy productivity. So, personal cell phone calls. We have a very clear policy on cell phones. You can use them at lunch and break, and other than that, put them away. But if you're addicted to that phone and you got to run into the bathroom to talk on the phone, or you want to take it on your test drives and stick it in your pocket, that will kill productivity. That kills the shop. And like I said, we have very clear rules on that. So, frequent and inconsistent smoke breaks. We have a policy on when we want you to take breaks. We have a policy on how often you should be doing that. If you're not following that policy, you're killing your own productivity and you're killing the shop's productivity. So, lack of car count due to poor general inspections. If we're not recommending work, we're not gonna be able to fix cars. We have to let customers know that they have a problem. So, fixing the wrong problem, and this goes back to a communication problem with the service writer. If the service writer says they got a clunk and you think it's the clunk in the left front, and the customer's really talking about the clunk in the right rear, well, when we fix the wrong problem, we're not going to be very productive. So, that's a problem. Waiting around for parts. Waiting around for parts because we didn't get the general inspection to the customer in a timely manner. And this goes into order of repair, but if a car comes in and we've already sold, the car comes in for a brake job that we told them they needed 2 weeks ago, and we're going to do a general, this is a poor example. If the car shows up for tires, we know we got the tires in the bank. We know we're doing the tires. Well, we do a general inspection, and it's, we do the tires before we get the general inspection to the customer, but they need a brake job. Well, we've just shot ourselves in the foot. One of the things we want to do is get that general inspection done, get that back to the service writer so they can build the estimate and sell the job while we go out there and do the work that we've already sold. So sitting on general inspections will kill productivity. Technicians who aren't willing to walk away from a car. This goes back to speed of service, but when the service writer comes out there and has said yes to a customer and you're not willing to walk away, that's going to kill your productivity. So, clutter in the shop, not keeping a clean shop. If we're walking and stumbling all over parts and tools all over the ground, and there's oil all over the ground, and we're getting it in customers' cars, and then we got to clean their cars, and just clutter and messiness in the shop will kill productivity. Spending more time than what is billed on diagnostic work, that will kill our productivity. We have to. If we bill out an hour to diagnose a problem and we don't have an answer, we don't punish ourselves by continuing on for another hour because we don't have the answer. Hopefully we have trained technicians who have done good testing in that hour, and if we don't find the answer, we don't find it. You go back to the service writer and say, I didn't find it in the time frame. We need to sell more time. Or you have a discussion with the service writer, I think I'm 2 minutes away, let me go back out there. But we can't do more work than what is billed. So, long employee breaks. Again, we have very clear policies on breaks, but if we take what should be a 3 to 5 minute break and turn it into a 20-minute break, you're not going to be productive and the shop's not going to be productive. So, that'll kill us. Spending too much time on general inspection. We want to do a general inspection, not including any sort of break or front-end inspection, just a basic general inspection, 10 minutes, no more than 15 minutes. It's a quick visual inspection that we can recommend further diagnostics or further inspections off of, and we can pick up belts and flushes and bulbs and tire patches and brake inspections and things like that. So, but don't spend a ton of time on these things. So, not following a consistent workflow process. The way we should be doing things is written down. I personally have spent a lot of time building these process, building this how the workflow should go. If we don't apply these concepts, we're going to kill our productivity. They're there for a reason. And it goes same thing, but kind of workflow, but ignoring standard procedures. When we have a way that we do things, and then today we decide we don't do it that way, well, that's going to hurt productivity, because there's other people in the shop who do things in a certain way, and they know that they're done that way. So we need to stick to our standard procedures. So now there's a few things that don't per se involve technicians directly, but they affect technicians. And if as technicians you see these things happening, let the general manager know, let ownership know, let someone who should know these things, they can do something about these things, know. But if you notice the service writer is creating estimates and selling jobs incorrectly, some of this might be inaccurate information from the technician, but if you see these things, you need to let general managers know or ownership know that, man, the service writer, they're building estimates for things I'm not even talking about. Service writers sitting on general inspections. If the service writer sits on the general inspection, they're going to kill a technician's productivity. They need to get those things in their hand. They need to get that customer called. And they need to get it sold. Again, the longer the time from when the customer drops the car off or we pull it in, the longer that time period is until we talk to them about the repairs, the less money they're going to spend. That is a fact. So quick general inspections, and then making sure that the service writer is not sitting on them. So, and one of the things that can kill technician productivity is, and it goes back to the first thing we talked about, was poor communication. So the service writer not gathering good information from the customer. If we don't get the right information and we don't ask the right questions, and we try and convey information to the technician that's useless, well, that's not going to do the technician any good, and it's not going to do the shop any good. So, that's a problem. Sick employees. If we have guys missing, we have service writers or C techs or B techs missing work all the time. Well, that puts a lot of strain on A techs and in all honesty B techs, and how productive they can be. So we have to be to work. We have to be to work on time, ready to work. And this goes for technicians as well, but on time, ready to work the second you're supposed to be on the clock. So, poor employee motivation, due to low morale, poor management, poor leadership. I'm going to tell you, I'm the first guy as the leader of this company. If we have poor morale, it's going to be partly my fault. But if there is poor morale, I need technicians, service writers, everybody involved in the company to come to me and say, hey, we're having a problem. We're not very productive because we don't have good morale. And we need to get to the root of that. And I'm the guy that needs to know these things, and I'm the guy that needs to be responsible for that. So, technicians can certainly help me understand that, certainly help general managers understand that. So, another thing that'll kill productivity is poor scheduling. If we're not scheduling properly and we're not utilizing the schedule, we're going to have some problems. So, and we're going to have problems with car count, which is really going to kill technician productivity. So, waiting for customer authorization because we didn't get proper info at the car drop. Again, that just goes back to communicating with the customer and communicating with the technician. So, poor stocking of needed materials. When a technician walks over and he needs some grinding discs and there's no grinding discs, and he walks over and he needs some RTV sealant and there's no RTV sealant, if we have to sit around and wait for these things, the technician's not going to be productive. So if techs see this, they need to be responsive. We need to make sure that we're following our we have ordering sheets. We need to make sure that we're doing those on the scheduled times. We need to make sure that we're actually filling them out and that these things are coming into the building. So, and poor equipment, that's something that will absolutely kill a technician. If we pull a car in and it's a check engine light and the equipment's not updated properly, well, technicians aren't going to be very productive. So, and I could go on and on about this. I think these are some of the really important things. And this is great for service writers. This is great for technicians to think about. It's great for owners and management to think about. So keep this in mind, technicians. Don't do these things. And if you see these things that are happening that you're not necessarily in direct control of, like I said, let the general manager know, let the ownership know. We want you to be as productive as possible, and it's just good for everybody. It's and in the end, it's really good for you. So please take these to heart, apply these, think about these, utilize these, make sure we're using our standard procedures, make sure we're using speed of service concepts, make sure we're doing taking a logical approach to fixing cars. Thanks.